already reached out but wanted to see this. So let me just go ahead and share my screen. 1 second. All right, so why are we here today? I think there's just seeing names here. There's a collection of loan officers and realtors here on the call. The idea here is we're going to go through some of the data that we've learned on just who the next generation buyer is, where our solution can be helpful, and give you ideas on how to do it. Also give you an overview of the app and maybe reframe some of your preconceived notions of what this app actually is, because we've had a lot of conversation with loan officers about there is components of this, like it does property search and this stuff, but it's a different play on everything, and it's really about building your pipeline for the future. So these folks that are not ready to transact yet for either financial or emotional reasons, that's what we're here to help build your pipeline. And we have some case studies, we have some stuff where we've seen success, and then we'll go over some details of the app. So again, please don't hesitate to stop me as we go through this. I see our boy Darren just joined, so welcome, Darren. There's actually your pictures up here, so I might have you talk to the slide once we get to it. All right, so just jumping right in. Everyone can see my screen? All right,
Yeah.
so yes. Who are we really focused on right now, especially when we're talking about first-time home buyers, people who are getting, maybe it's their next move up, but where is a lot of the purchase market? We're in a heavy purchase market. Where is a lot of that activity coming from, and where will it be even more coming from in the future? So next gen home buyer, we've classified that as Gen Z and millennials just from an age demographic. And it's a big population of the purchase market, not only now, but coming in the future as well. I think some of you may know the first-time homebuyer average age has raised to 38 years old, which is, not old, but it's for a first-time homebuyer, that's definitely the highest we've seen to date. So we're talking about a age range of 18 to 44. Largest demographic entering the housing market today. We, as FinLocker, have done a lot of consumer testing with folks in there, not necessarily people using the app, just outside. We have a lot of data, a lot of reports we've done with our partners of understanding this segment and this market better. So on this market, 68% trust friends and family for their home buying information. I think that's a good thing, but it's also something to take with a grain of salt. Are they getting the best advice from their family and friends? They have their own experiences. Maybe some of them bought their homes, before the crash. Maybe, some of them still have scars from that. Maybe not all of them are really that educated on mortgage. They bought one home and that's pretty much the extent of it. So this is where this partnership between loan officers and realtor partners can step in and really make a difference in terms of educating this next gen of home buyers that's coming in. From some of our studies from our partners, First Home IQ, they did a study, and in their next gen home buyers report, they found that of that demographic, 95% have the desire to own a home. So that's great. Huge population have the desire. But what they need is a simplified process and a trusted guide. And we all know this, but there is lack of financial knowledge and uncertainty. Some of that can break down barriers instantly because some people are out there thinking you need 20% down, thinking that, there's no special programs because they're a veteran, all sorts of different stuff that can apply where that's where you as a professionals come in and can help these folks. Just breaking down a little bit more data from the report. So what's blocking them? So 69% affordability. We know with the higher interest rates, that's something everybody's feeling that pressure. We've had limited inventory for a long time. It looks like that might be shifting a little bit more in the buyer's direction, but still something to keep your lookout for. Confidence gap. 43% feel mortgage ready. So how can we help that? And that's what we'll get into later in this presentation. Debt is a big one. Debt is a big blocker to getting approved. And then the limited financial education. And unfortunately, based on a lot of these reports, there's distrust in professionals. And I think it comes from twofold. One is just the early generation. There's so much noise out there, so many people getting spammed with emails, with offers, with different things, the bait and switch type things. And so one of the points of our app is to help build that trust for those people. You know, you have your trusted network, you have your people that will always do business with you, and that's great. This is for I mean, you definitely include those people, but this is to start building trust with those people who are starting to learn and want to get educated first. So you're giving before you're asking. And all of these things on the screen that I'm showing, our app helps with each one of these things. We'll go into more of that in detail. So where are people showing up? Where are people showing up to get their information in this demographic? YouTube is a huge one. Social media, just in general, social media, and then financial apps. Well, ours is a financial app on steroids focused on the homeownership journey, wherever you're at on that homeownership journey. For those of you who are doing social, that's a great thing. It is, I'm a strong believer, it's the way of the future. People are going there. We have data to reinforce that. And one of the things with access to this app is you can actually help grow your social media and grow deeper engagement from that by doing some periodic posts about education first, but then offering tools like FinLocker. And when I say FinLocker, all of you might have a little different brand of FinLocker. FinLocker is the company behind the brand that you're with. So, for example, Lyndon, you're on the First Home IQ app. I know that, right? Darren's got his Mortgage Gurus. Everyone might have their own private label. When I speak FinLocker, all this feature functionality, everything is for your app that you have access to. So again, building trust and confidence. People still want and need agents and lenders. They need that mortgage professional. Let's be honest. The mortgage process is not easy. There is complexity to it. There's stress. There's a big emotional component to it. This is the biggest purchase people are making in their entire lives. What we see now from the data is 59% say now is not a good time to buy. How do we change that? We all know, I mean, all of the people who've been around the industry, if you can buy, it's a good time to buy because properties increase over time. You're not just wasting money on rent. So how do we change some of that perception? And that all starts with this community here we have, the agents and the lenders, building trust. So what's our problem statement? Most not yet ready leads are not nurtured properly. Does anyone disagree with that statement?
Nope, I agree.
Yeah, I
Is
agree.
anyone doing something outside of FinLocker besides the CRM drip campaign or your scheduled follow-ups with leads that are not ready to transact now?
Nope.
No.
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 So we do a lot of drip campaigns through Salesforce that really engages with people automatically, whether it's purchase refi, depending on how we, put it in and dispose of it, right, and market. So we do that. Doesn't have the greatest success because it's very automated. This is very personal.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know Darren's one of our great users. He's seen success. Actually, Darren, I don't think you joined yet, but I got a slide on you later, so maybe I'll just let you speak to your own slide, which I didn't show you ahead of time. So apologies. But yeah, we talk about so we all kind of agree that there's a gap here on nurturing not yet ready leads. So whether it's financial reasons or emotional reasons, people are not ready to transact today. What are you doing for them? And that's a big portion of what the app can do. And so how do we do that? We do that by combining tools and features that we know hundreds of millions of consumers are out there using on a daily basis. So apps like Credit Karma, all the big search platforms, NerdWallet, budgeting apps. Mint used to be there. Mint went away. They've pushed everyone into Credit Karma. We do that. We wrap up a lot of that feature functionality into one branded app, branded as the brand that, for the lender, or we have key steps, and then more personalized branding down to you as the loan officer and the realtor. You all live in the experience. And the difference in our business model than what you're seeing on the screen is these folks that are on the screen, they're doing a couple of different things to monetize. They're soliciting to consumers. So in the case like Credit Karma, here, check before you check your score. Do you want this credit card? Do you want this mortgage? Do you want this personal loan? Selling data is another component of it. When you put your clients in here, we do not sell data and we do not solicit to the consumers. So everything that we send is educational. So Darren mentioned a point about the CRM drip campaigns. When someone registers for our app and they now select where they're at on their journey, we kick them off on a series of email onboarding journeys. It's between 5 and 8 emails in the course of 45 days. And we're getting over a 70% open rate on those. So people have now registered, you're bringing them into them. But now, as you talk about these people not yet ready, you're starting to be able to work more at scale with the benefits of all of these things that other apps would do, but you're selling data and funneling them to other places, all within your ecosystem and keeping you top of mind. So I know I know a lot of people don't have the bandwidth to follow up with someone 6 months, 12 months out and a whole bunch of those. This is a way, put them in there, let them kind of use the tech. But when they do have questions, those questions will be more targeted, have more context to go off of, and will help build that trust. Any questions so far? Because this is kind of like the big high level of what the app does.
Do we have questions on the high level?
On Go high level? Actually, we do have, this is a side note, we can get into this later, but we do have an integration now available down to the loan officer level. So before we'd only do it at enterprise level, we do have it down to the loan officer level. All right, so the process. How do we get people in? So each one of you, whether you're an agent or a loan officer, you have your own invite link and digital registration card. And we'll show you examples of that later, but it's really simple. You have a link just to give to people, or you have a digital registration card that has a QR code on it. So you're consulting with somebody. They're not ready to buy yet. Great place to invite them. Not everybody's going to register for the app, but the people that do will be start getting deeper into your ecosystem. You'll start to get to know them better. They'll start to get to know you better. You're offering something of value. And that's where that building trust gets in. So for you realtors on the call, you have your own link. You are the face. When they click on that registration page, you're living there. When they register for the app, they're seeing you within the app, and they're also seeing the loan officer within the app. So they're seeing their team. And then as that bio progresses through, you're kept up to date through instant alerts and notifications. And the loan officers have access to even more information to be able to partner with you. So I'm going to play a quick video. Adrian, if you can just give me a quick thumbs up if you can hear this.
Here's how a consumer
Yep,
would use
gotcha.
your FinLocker-powered
All right, so
financial
let me just
fitness.
restart this.
Here's how a consumer would use your FinLocker-powered financial fitness and homeownership app. With FinLocker, monitor your credit score, review your report, and simulate improvements to move closer to homeownership. The Homeownership Snapshot delivers a personalized mortgage readiness assessment and action plan, customized for your goals. Explore homes, save your favorites, and assess how they fit your financial goals right inside the app. Need guidance? Connect with your loan officer or real estate agent directly from the app whenever you're ready. FinLocker, guiding your journey to homeownership, step by step.
All right, so that gives a brief overview of the app. The other thing to pull away from this is we have a lot of ready-made videos and content you can take and use. So if you don't already have access to those, we'll have some contact information at the end. We'll be sending that out in a recap with this recording as well. That just gives a quick overview. We have a lot of these type of videos that you can just take and send to your clients. And then, so what are we looking for? So we talked about the problem of leads aren't getting nurtured enough. These not yet ready leads. Limited bandwidth, both for realtors and for loan officers. And wasted marketing dollars. So all of those people, wherever you're getting your leads from that don't go anywhere, what are you doing with them? Here's another way to try to capture them. And when you're implementing this buyer readiness app that's co-branded, it's letting you work more at scale. So there's a lot of automated follow-ups to the consumers. And it's not just like, hey, check out this new seasonal recipe. It's your credit score updated. Interest rates in the market have changed. Things have changed on your financial profile. Your readiness score has changed, and I'll get into readiness later, but that's to let them know how likely they are to get approved for a loan. So all of these things that are very meaningful, keying off of their financial data, their consumer permission financial data, and bringing them back to the app, reminding them of you. And so what we do is we turn those people that are not yet ready into ready buyers, keep that realtor engaged the whole time. And then when it's ready to really start shopping with that pre-approval in hand, who are they going to go to first? The people that they've been working with that they've been helping them, nurturing, educating them, or just going to a random person?
Hey, Chris. So this is Adrian. I'm with FinLocker. Have my video off because of bandwidth. But I just wanted to talk really quickly too about the leads piece, because I know a lot of agents, a lot of loan officers are actually spending money on leads, purchasing leads, and the ability to put these leads into the FinLocker instance to manage those leads, make sure that you guys aren't wasting money, not just on marketing, but on purchasing these leads, so that when they come in and they're not ready, you just throw them in here. You watch those leads turn into dollars for you.
Yeah, excellent point. Thanks, Adrian. All right, so the impact you're talking about, like just as Adrian's point, you have someone that's not yet ready to go. Where do you put them? The drip campaigns are not working as much as they used to in the past. So you're putting them in a place where they feel empowered. They can start working on their scenario. You're seeing updates as they're progressing through, and you're collaborating with them through the app as a team, your lender and your agent. So for your realtors on the call, we do not sell directly to agents. This actually application is free for you to use, but you have to be partnered with a loan officer that uses our platform. All right, I'm going through a couple case studies. Darren, I'm going to call on you in just a few because he's got one for you. But this is Min Win. He's huge on social media, so he's got a big following. So I don't want anyone to get too intimidated by this. This is just one of the bigger examples. We launched his app. It was a while ago, but we launched his app and we did a close case study on him. So within the first 30 days, he had 3,300 people added to his database. And then within the first 10 months, that was 5,800. Now, what was interesting is when we did that compare with them, only 800 of those already existed in their database. So he had 5,000 new leads in his database that were now using the app, coming back. They were able to nurture, they were getting prompts from the app, hey, I'm ready to go, which turned into 30 purchase closings. But because he was getting to the consumer first, he was actually able to refer 12 of those out to realtors. And so now when we're talking about working as a team, both loan officer and agent combined in here, this is where you can start working together. Maybe someone like Lyndon's out there and he does a community event. He gets people in. He finds people that don't have a realtor yet. Who's he going to refer to? People that are putting in this app and they're comfortable with the app, or somebody else.
Chris, when you say go to an event, right? So let me just try to visualize this for the people that don't understand. So like, let's say I go and do an event with a realtor. We could create our own QR code just for that event through FinLocker, through my Mr. Mortgage Guru app, for that realtor, for whatever, for argument's sake, they're looking to buy a house in the future. And you could just keep it there so you can see the results and you can follow up and you can like track each one. Sorry, that's out.
No,
it's more than that.
Darren, speak up anytime, because Darren's been using this app for almost a year now, and has really came into it with the right mindset.
Yeah, it just gets me opportunity and conversation when I may not have. And obviously the hardest thing is getting the realtor to do it. But he mentioned event, and when we think of event, and we think of doing it with many different realtors, right? Especially as a loan officer, you don't just have one realtor, right? You have many realtors, right? So if I have a realtor in New Jersey and I have a realtor in New York, they're going to be doing different events, right? So how do I track and monitor? And it does give you that system. You don't have to use it. You could just give one to each of your realtors and let them run with it rather than you being on the face. Let them be on the face. They scan it and you track all their work. That's how I do it. But it does help you get and navigate through certain situations,
Thanks,
topics
Darren.
to talk to, right?
Yeah, and actually, this is leading perfectly into one of our other case studies. So with Kyra Patterson with Highland Mortgage, she was using the app only about a week, and I won't say this. Shouldn't expect this for everybody, but it is the power of the app. She did a home buyer seminar with her church group. 40 people attended, but within a few days, people passed around that QR code, that invite link, and she had 150 people in her app. A lot of them net new she didn't even know because they saw the homebuyer class, but instead of walking away with just a pamphlet of papers, they're walking away with access to this app that does a lot of things, and it keeps the noise away, being data sold and being solicited to, and it has some other unique tools that they can't really find all in one place. So I showed Min earlier, that's a huge social following. Kyra's only got less than 2,000 social following across both Facebook and Instagram. So it's not a huge following, but still getting a lot of activity through that. And she's got 3 active realtors now using the app and bringing clients in, and the realtors are seeing some results of that, of engaging further with these folks. Next up is Darren. So Darren, why don't you talk to us about the 3 deals that you kind of got after 6 months, and then kind of what's happening now?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be a user in order to have success with it. It's not another tool to not use, it's a tool to use. And I'm big on engagement. So like, we have so many different tools on engaging with our past clients through my company, right? We don't have any real tool engaging with clients that don't want to do any business. People fill out applications, they start applications, they never really finish it, right? Or they don't get approved. Those drip campaigns are just, they're not engaging. Sometimes every once in a while you get somebody reply, say, hey, I want to do this, right? But with the Guru app, I get a lot of positive flow and conversation with people. So people I probably wouldn't even like really talk to. But all right, let's just start with the first one, right? So we closed the deal here in South Carolina. The guy started off the 540 credit score in like August, some around that range. We gave him some tips and tricks on how to fix it. He did it, but he was still getting a refer, and we weren't getting the approve eligible. We signed him up for the Guru app, and what it did was it gave me my credit score updates on my around range, right? So after we got him added on as like an authorized user, how do you know when that hits the credit, right? You don't know, so you guess, right? Or if you have a way of knowing, then that's good. We had no way of knowing when that alert happens. So sometimes you rely on the client, they have Credit Karma or some other Experian or something that they view, but it's not like accurate, right? Again, you're still guessing. So this allows us to kind of, I guess when the scores go up, we kind of know things are working. It's, again, we're getting to the exact point, right, Chris? Eventually we'll be able to view what's on the credit, so we'll see it. So we'll be game in the money. But until then, we have a real good guess, because when the scores go up like 40 points, we know what we did sort of work. So at that point, do you take a chance? So with this borrower specifically, they were doing 100% financing. We needed a 620 minimum to do it. I felt like if he got the 620, we'll get the approve eligible. We even added the mom onto the loan. So we ended up getting to the 620. He was able to do 100% financing. And it closed in April. So just within a few months, we were able to track it, monitor it, know where the scores were at, and we closed it, right? That's one story. Another story we had in North Carolina. So my loan officer sends out the pre-approval with like a 530 credit score. No problem, right? 3.5% down. The guy said he would put down 10%, but then he didn't have the 10%. So we had to work with the 3.5%. We gave them some tips and tricks. We did we did kickoff. But again, you do all those self-reporting things, but you don't know when they hit the credit, right? You guess. So we download the Guru app and we were able to sort of track the progression over a certain amount of time. I think it was like 60 days or 45 days. We saw the 580 hit because it went into that next bracket. It's sort of like what is it, Chris? Like it's an estimate.
It's
right?
a tier, yeah. It's we do it in a 10-point range on the score.
Yeah, but we were above and beyond that 10-point range. We may have been like 580 to 620 or 619, right? And we pulled it, and it was a 582. Boom, went right to closing. So meanwhile, the file was fully underwritten. It was all good because we had approved it at 10% down, but now we just kicked it back to 3.5 and close that up. So that was another story that we did. I know we did lose one, but that wasn't any fault of anybody but our borrower lost her job. So just sort of cranked on that one. But we have a lot of good stories with people. It's a good sale too, and it gives us the ability to work on the majority of the people that aren't going to do business with you. So we say, oh, well, we don't care about that. Or we say, okay, how do we engage with that? And that's just the difference between using it and not using it. Is every realtor under the sun going to believe in everything that you say? No way. But you got to find the few people that believe in this situation with the app that can help them build their future. And there's not another way, because like the Salesforce and KV Core and all that good stuff, they don't do this. You have to maybe set it up some type way manually. Like with Total Mortgage, it's sort of like an all or nothing situation, right? We have to do it the same way that everybody does it in Total Mortgage, right? If you work for a big company, everybody sort of follows the same rules, where this is a little bit more personalized. And the better you are with like IA and posting and being able to share your information, I feel the better this will be. I probably do it on such a simple, easy, no frills, I'm not thinking that much ahead of, other than if you have crappy credit, let me help you fix it, right? So but it really can be used for a lot of different scenarios where one may be different than the other. Like you have a realtor that chases down foreclosures, and then you have a realtor that only deals with luxury homes, right? So you have two totally different ends. You can make an app for each one in a sense. You really can. So or a link or a QR code or a scan or advertising or whatever and you'll be able to monitor and track it. So you can track every QR code. I know you could do that, but this is just like, it's ready for you. I don't have to send it into like my marketing department and say, hey, can you make me a QR code for, this open house? Even though we have the system that does it automatically, which is something else, this is just for the Guru app. So it tags along in a different way. Like I said, it's more personal.
Yeah, when Darren says a Guru app too, that's just his branded version of FinLocker. But Darren, you say like not getting too sophisticated, but I think one very important part, if you guys don't follow Darren, I would encourage you to follow Darren, because what he does well is he makes it part of his process. So you consistently see him showing up with offering that. And that's where you will see the success. If you go send one blast email to everybody and expecting your world to change, that's not going to happen. I'm telling you right now, that's not going to happen. I don't know of any tool.
We have a lot of data, man. I promise you, we have tens of thousands of names, and maybe one a month come back from that, two a month. It's not all big. It's not a big conversion, really. And we got engineers. We're good.
All right. So moving on, just summarizing. So building buyer readiness, building that trust between agents and lenders and these next gen buyers, keeping you top of mind through the process. and letting you work at scale. And so that was kind of the whole positioning of what's out there, what's the market. Now I'm going to go into the meat and potatoes of the app. So what functionality is in the app? So we already saw this slide. I'm going to skip over this, but at a high level, we have the credit monitoring, personal finances, property search, home valuation, mortgage education, and lending research. Where do we use this app? Up funnel. Up funnel is a great use case. We've been talking about that a lot, especially with this next gen demographic. So you're talking about those early journey first time home buyers. People are 3, 6 months, a year out, 2 years out. Great place to do it. We don't charge like on a per person basis. For the realtors on the call, it's free to you. So it doesn't matter if you put in one person or 10,000 people. We encourage you to load it up. Turn downs. So it's not a no, it's a not now. Let us help you get there. Those deals do turn into deals at some point. Those people have the desire to get in a home. They went through the application process. They've tried. So they have the desire to do it, and you can be the ones to help them there. You help someone from getting turned down to approved and in their home, that's gold for referrals. They're going to talk to you about, talk you up to all of their friends and family. Lead acquisition on social media. So some of you are probably doing really well on social media. Some of you are trying to build up. Some of you might be scared of the camera. This is also a good tool to inject into that play. You don't even have to be in front of the camera if that's what's holding you back. You can start using some of our videos. You can just talk about the value prop of the app. But the point is that it's great to get those likes and comments. But when someone registers for the app, now you have verified contact detail. Now you're starting to get the credit information. Now you're seeing them engage on properties. So you're getting a lot more information and meaningful stuff on that person, and they're just coming deeper into your ecosystem. And then there is the use case for post-close and current homeowners. So we have home valuation in the app. We have net worth tracking, cumulative savings tracking, credit monitoring that would typically be a $15, $20 a month charge for a consumer, but you're able to offer that to them for free. What we do say though is if you're having a conversation with somebody let's say from a realtor perspective, that person's pre-approved, they're shopping, you're using your MLS, your listing stuff, don't change from that. Don't distract with the app at that point in time. You have the eye on the prize, and it's to close the house. But that person closes the house. Here's another tool you can give, and in addition to whatever gift you give them after closing and all that, here's another tool where they can track their home value. They can get their credit monitor. They can track their net worth, all their asset and liabilities in one place. Get some education along the way. And also, you're there living in the app. So if they ever have any questions on, a potential move up, an investment property, anything like that, it's a great way to just keep in contact at scale. So where do people start out? So we talked about in the beginning, the invite link. You have your invite link in your QR code. You get someone into the app. When they register for the app, here are the first things that they see. What best describes your homeownership journey? Where are you at? Are you just getting started? Did you hit a challenge? Do you already own a home? What are some of your goals? And so what happens is a few things happen off of this. One, the app gets more dynamic based on the selections that the consumer makes. Two, the messaging that goes to the consumer is more dynamic. So for example, someone just getting started is going to get messaged with different content than somebody who already owns a home. And everything in between there with whatever the goal objectives are. We're doing that, and each time, the call to action is come back to the app where they're reminded of you, where they can engage further. Asher, did you have a question? I just saw a screen
No.
highlight. So, no. And so what are some of the features? Now we're getting into some of the feature sets of our app. This is our readiness assessment, our homeownership snapshot. This is where someone can plug and play either using their live linked data, so their linked credit score, their linked assets, soon to be linked employer information, where they can run that on verified data, or they can plug scenarios. So maybe I know I'm getting a raise at the end of the year. I can run scenarios of what it would look like when at that point in time. Maybe I'm getting a gift from my parents. I can run a scenario what that would look like. Maybe I'm a veteran. I can run zero down scenario. But what happens is a couple things from here. One, we gamify, so we grade on a 4-star system. Now, if they're light on any of those stars, they can talk to you about those specific scenarios. Hey, it looks like I'm 5,000 short on what the system says on my closing costs or down payment. Can you still get me approved with that? So there's these prompts. But then the system automatically renders a dynamic action plan based on the latest results of the readiness run from the consumer. So in this case, this person was light on credit. So we serve up our credit simulator tool where they can run simulations on their credit profile and say, what if I paid down this credit card? What if I got another secured credit card? What would that do to my score? And so it's not leaving them like, hey, this is it. It's next steps. You can use the tools in the app to get you to that 4 stars. Anytime somebody runs it and gets 4 stars, you are instantly alerted. And then wrapped up in here is there's a lot of educational material. So broken down by the various categories that lenders grade on, the DTI, the cash to close, the employment, income, all that stuff. There's education within there. They can start reading about not only data from the industry, like what is a typical down payment for a first-time home buyer versus a repeat buyer? What are other loan programs out there? And so when they then contact you through the app, you're talking about a much more focused scenario and not just starting with, hey, what's going on? Tell me a little bit about what you've been doing. You know what they've been doing. Any questions here, Adrian? Anything you wanted to add?
I was just going to add, you touched on it, but the gamification of mortgage approvability here is massive. Consumers are used to downloading apps and getting some sort of badge for completing tasks. And this is what this does, is brings this into a digital age for your consumers. I think it's awesome.
All right. Please feel free to put your questions in the chat or come off mute. I'm going to keep going here. So this is our credit. So consumer can enroll their credit. Once they enroll their credit, it's pretty simple. We pre-fill a lot of the information. They have to put their last 4 of Social Security and the address they lived at for the last 2 years. They link their credit, and once they link it, they get an updated credit score and credit report every 7 days. They can also use tools like our credit simulator. So on this right side here, this is someone simulating their score. So you can do everything. You can say like, what if I did an auto loan? What if I did a mortgage loan? What if I did a personal loan? What if I paid down credit cards? Went late on a payment, went delinquent.
Wait, they have that? That's on there?
That's on there, yeah.
But we can't see that.
You can't see that. Now, one thing, Darren, you mentioned earlier is you can see their credit score. You can't see their whole profile. Actually, just a few weeks ago, we added the ability for the consumer to share what's called our buyer vision report. And Ethan, if you're on the call, if you can drop a screenshot of that in the chat, because I forgot to include it here. It's just such a new feature. But someone enrolls in credit. Now they can share this buyer vision report with you. And you can now see details from their credit profile. So do they have any
there
late
was
payments?
some type of upgrade recently. Yeah.
Yeah,
It looked different.
we do upgrades each and every month, but that was a big one that came out the last couple of weeks. I think you might have missed our.
So how do I look at it? Just like look at the recent.
If you're logged in as a consumer, and right at the top of the dashboard on the web and the mobile app, it'll say explore your buyer vision report.
Wait, so I wouldn't be signed in as the consumer.
Yeah, so if you'd be notified if someone's already shared that with you, Darren. So once someone shares that with you, you get notified instantly and it takes you directly to that. Ethan put in a YouTube video of this buyer vision.
Okay.
But what it does is it gives
somebody
you more
gave it to me, the buyer vision. It's like a different email you get.
Yeah, you get a different email. So that's a good point, is a lot of these things, when they're either reaching milestones or doing intent related things, you are notified. And so when someone shares their buyer vision, it tells you like what their total debt is. It's not meant to replace a credit score, because we don't give details down to like B of A, Chase, all this, but we say, installment loans, revolving credit lines, those type of things. But
look at this, dude. This is awesome now.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah,
how do they go back and share it though? How do they go back and share it? Like, how do they go back into their app and share with me now?
I just put that one in the
right now
chat.
they share.
It's easier
Sorry,
to
I
do
froze
it
up
on
first.
the web browser. Like I've been using it for like if someone's not sure about what's on their credit or like where their score is, I'll have them just use the desktop because it's easier for them to find it on there, and just share their buyer vision. And then I'll kind of do that as like a
Is there a way
free.
to like blast everybody in there and say, hey, don't forget to share your buyer's vision, and then give them like a quick.
Yeah, you can download your list on and then just email them. We don't have a way to just click a button and do
Like
that
what-
just yet.
BCC everybody,
Oh.
you mean, type of thing?
Yeah, but we're reminding. So when we launch that new feature, there is some reminders about that. And now we also put it strategically at the top of the dashboard, so it's there. But what Asher just said is a perfect example. For those of you that are paying for soft credit pulls, you don't know where someone stands. They don't know anything. There's no additional money being spent here. For you realtors on the call, here's another value add. Through my loan officer, you don't have to spend any money up front just to baseline to see where you stand. Let's get you in this app. And now they're in using a feature of the app. And what we see with our data is as soon as someone engages in one widget, they're sticky in the app. They keep coming back. They naturally explore other aspects of the app. Hey, McGee, I saw you come off on camera. Did you have a question?
No, I've been here the whole time, but I don't have a question. I'm good.
Okay, some reason you just popped up on my screen, so just want to make sure I wasn't missing you.
Chris, I'm looking in the app and under the Lender Connect section, is that going to directly, I guess, the person that I guess gave them the link, or the lender? Like, I guess if we sent it out to a buyer.
It'd be going to you, but what we're talking about with this buyer vision is actually before that. It's a little bit simpler than that. Lender Connect is where they can share documents with you and actually a verification of asset report. This is kind of that step before. So if you look on the top of the dashboard, there's an Explore Buyer Vision. You have to be enrolled in credit. So if you click on there, it'll take you to enroll in credit. But once you're there, it'll let you share that with whoever you're assigned to. So in this case, you. And what you'll see on the videos we sent and on the screenshots, and Lyndon, if you look at it, there's a blank section for income and employment. We're going to be adding income and employment there. So just like someone can enroll their financial account, they'll be able to enroll their payroll provider. So now not only are you getting details from their credit profile, you're getting verified income and employment data as well. Again, no additional cost. It's included in the app. And we never charge the consumer. There's never like, hey, unlock this feature for this, and put in your credit card. We never charge the consumer directly.
That's awesome.
All right, moving on. So it's not just credit. Credit is a big feature of our app. Going back to credit, over 60% of our users enroll in credit, and typically they do that within the first 24 hours of registering for the app. We move into the financial section. Financials is more of that longer term play. People just in general are more hesitant. I'm sure you have seen that too, where they don't want to use your point of sale and put in their banking credentials. They just want to send you the documents. So we do see people enroll this right away, but what we do is we see more and more people as they are in the app for longer enroll in this. And it's totally safe and secure. We don't store credentials. But when they enroll their accounts, we pull back historical transactions. And so therefore, from day one, a consumer can look at their spending, an automated spending analysis. So we auto-categorize all this, tell them how they've been spending their money. They can take a look back in time, a 3-month view. So you think about the first-time home buyer that needs to just work on budgeting. Here's a great tool to do that. You think about your past clients who maybe were more well-heeled. In one safe, secure environment, they can not only track their property value, but they can track all their spending habits, all their asset and liabilities, and have their credit monitored all in one place, connected to you. So here is a look at for the people who own a home or those first-time home buyers you're working with and now closed. The app doesn't stop just because they close. So you like your point of sales, they're great apps, but they're really for a purpose. And then how many people keep the point of sale app on their phone after they've closed on the loan? This is an evergreen app where now I can enroll my property, and that goes back and ties into my net worth. And I can link my live mortgage. So you can see here this estimated home equity on the screen. That's not coming from a reverse calculation on origination terms. That's coming because they've linked their live mortgage. So if they're paying extra payments each month, they're doing different things, they're going to get their live balance from their mortgage. And they can not only enroll one property, but maybe have more well-heeled clients who have 4, 5, 6 properties. They can roll up to 20 properties, all of which then pull into their net worth. They get a monthly updated AVM on their home valuations as well. So now we've talked about, yeah, go ahead.
That helps because it starts conversation with the past clients. You'd be surprised. Sometimes they'll shoot us an email like, it'll say, oh, I'm interested in this, or can I get a second mortgage, or can I get a home equity, or it like, I don't know. It sometimes it just pops a dumb question that turns into a loan. I mean, we've closed a few of them from those past client ones. Yeah.
It's a reason to engage. I mean, you just who here on the call doesn't want a reason to be able to connect with a potential borrower?
Yeah, so think about it, right? So if we're already connecting with those people on a pretty large scale, it's just kind of what our technology does here, right? This is going to be like on steroids because the people that I close are so special that went through this system, right? That they're seeing it on a different level now. So not only do you see they see the stuff that like corporate sends and stuff like that, but then they also see it at this level too, which is very helpful. It's like a twist.
And
so
one thing on that, Darren, you make a really good point, right? These individuals that are going through this have had a lot to get through, right, in order to get here. And one thing they can do is, they can track their mortgage now that's coming out of their bank account to make sure that they're not going negative on those accounts. And you're the individual that's supporting them there, right? You're not like, hey, here's your new $4,000 mortgage, go have fun. It's like, hey, track that mortgage, track your spending habits. Don't default on that loan, right? I'm here to support you no matter what.
And we have a credit puller, right? So like we have like an alert if they close or they get their credit pulled somewhere else or whatever, we get an alert on that. But sometimes, honestly, I'm too late to the game.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean like, oh, they're going to refinance with someone else. I'm like, their problem I can't fix, because it got too far now. Mm-hmm. So that's also a good thing. So now I see like, oh, why'd your credit go down? What are you doing wrong? What's the problem? Like what, so.
Yeah, you're coaching. You're not just looking for a sale. You're coaching.
It's pretty interesting that way that you guys help us develop that though. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. On speaking of developing stuff is, encourage you all to use this as much as possible, but
I think we lost Chris for a sec. Can you guys hear him? All right, you're back. You're back, Chris. We lost you for a sec.
Yeah.
Restart that.
The most magical thing, and I forgot it now. But no, my point is actually I forgot the point. But anyway, the financial summaries here. This is a look now that they've enrolled their asset and liabilities, their home. Now they can see their net worth. They can see their DTI. They can see their cumulative savings. They see their asset and liabilities broken down. So this is valuable for anyone on the spectrum. It doesn't matter where in the home buying spectrum, whether it's they already own a home or it's a first time purchase. So now for your realtors on the call, we do have home search in here, but I want to be very clear. This is not meant to replace your home search. Use what you guys are doing every day. You know how to run your business. You're doing well in closing deals and doing that. What this is meant to do is give another outlet as they're coming in to check their credit, to check on their mortgage readiness, to check all of their finances. They have a protected search that they can go to within the app, which then it's alerting you when they're searching or favoriting properties or enrolling properties for evaluation. And so it's just another outlet to try to keep them off of Zillow and Redfin. And so what do we do with that? We have some hooks in here that are different than any other search provider that we're aware of. So we can search with AI, very cool, shiny object tool. So you see here, it says bathroom. We just did a wow example here, a sauna or steam room. Probably most of us are not looking for a sauna and steam room in our bathroom unless we win the lottery, but just to show you the power of the app, it pulls back and pull back images within your search criteria, pulls back the property, and then the images first that most closely match your prompt. So you could say a kitchen with an open floor plan and stainless steel appliances and wood floors, and it'll pull that back. So it's one of those things where you're not going to compete with Redfin and Zillow at just a search to search platform. We're pulling people in to give them just guidance on their whole journey. But then an outlet is search in a protected environment. There's no pay to play. You won't see any other agents advertised. You won't see any other lenders advertised. They're just in here, and then you're getting updates on those people. Also, for you realtors, you could also use this yourself. Maybe you have some picky clients that you're trying to find that right property for. You can even go upload an image on there and have it come back. And it's not searching just the MLS description, it's searching the actual listing images to do that. Any questions here?
I haven't even used that, so I don't even know how that is.
Just open up search and it'll use this button, search with AI. So
Open
here
up
we did
where?
another one here for ceiling beam. And you can see the one pops back with ceiling beams. So it's very advanced, the search capabilities there. And again, we're not the realtors on the call, keep using your search platform. When you see a prompt from them that, hey, they favored our property, now you can go and give them additional detail because you're in that local MLS. So it's just it's another powerful outlet tool to keep them in your ecosystem and also alert you when they do certain things related to property.
And Chris, these are pretty simple searches that you're showing. I actually had a conversation with an agent recently, and they were dealing with a client that needed a first floor bedroom and office and handy capable bars in the bathroom because they were bringing their mom in to live with them. And they ran that search on AI here, and it was incredible, the results that they had. So think of those like really difficult individuals you're working with that have a lot of needs and the ability for them to add those needs into this search platform. I think that's like really where this could help save you guys time.
Yeah, that's a great point. And honestly, if someone please speak up, but not aware of anyone who has this capability. So it's another piece to speak to if people are really just looking for search. Well, hey, have you ever tried searching with AI? What's that? Talk to me more about that. And we have videos on that too. Now, when they're searching, they can favorite homes. And so when they favorite those homes, it pulls back into the saved property section of the app. And so now you see this little property section. So they have homes you own. So that gives an evaluation. Over here is the saved properties. So it not only brings that into the saved property section, it alerts you as a loan officer and as a realtor that, hey, Chris just saved this property. And then it runs a financial or homeownership snapshot, a readiness assessment on there. So it gives them some of the baseline terms, the budget for the home, but then they can go and play with those terms as well. Now, when there are listing updates, like using this property example, this property is $260,000. Maybe tomorrow the list price drops to $250,000. As a consumer, I'm going to get alerted and it's going to bring me directly back to the section of the app and it's automatically going to rerun that financial analysis on that lower list price. So again, a great place for them to do in a protected environment. No other agents are involved, no other loan officers involved. This is just for your consumers and you to partner on. Lastly, or not lastly, but here's some persona-based communications. I've spoke about this before, but what we do is we consistently send out messages and push notifications. So you think about living on that person's phone and via an app. They're going to be getting emails, but they're also going to be getting push notifications. Hey, your credit score updated. You have a new credit alert because there's credit monitoring in here. You had a new trade line opened up. Is this you? All these type of things that, again, on the onboarding, there's a series of them, but even for the life of when they're in the app, it's giving them important updates on their financial life and more reasons to come back to the app, reminding them of you, keeping top of mind and better ways to engage.
Just out of curiosity, if they have their alerts on their phone, will this pop up on their alert? Like as a
okay. Push notifications. So when they register, it says, do you want to enable push notifications? Yeah. So there's push notifications as well. And I mean, I think we're all suffering from this. How many people, everyone's getting hammered with just spam emails all over the place. So like I know, for example, I have one email address. When I go sign up for new stuff, I just use that email address because I don't want to get all of that spam stuff, and I just ignore. I don't really pay attention to it. And then we have agent alerts. So in partnership with your loan officer is going to get alerts more around getting approved for the loan. You as the agent are going to get alerted every time someone registers and when they're doing anything property related. And you're going to get details of who they are, and what they're doing, some of the things that they filled out. And then here is just a collection of images. So I want to just start right up here on this, right here where my cursor is hovering, where it says Brian Collin. This is your digital card we were talking about. So Darren was mentioning like the QR codes. When you get set up, or if you've already been set up, you will get an email with this digital card. And so you can use this. So let's realtors on the phone. Why not just have this at your open houses? You have a lot of tire kickers coming through. Well, they can download this app, get their free credit monitoring, figure out where they stand. They see you, and it's just a way for you to bring people deeper in your ecosystem. You're doing first-time homebuyer seminars, both digitally or in person. You're out community events. Great place to just keep putting them out there. The point is that when they come and register, not only are they seeing you first as a realtor or loan officer, depending on who's inviting them, but when they get into the system, they are seeing their team here, the lender and the agent. So here's another examples of that down here. They can contact you directly through the app. You can, if as you're an agent, you have a bio you can put in the app about you. Let's see. So this perfect thing. So I see a question from Jennifer. What is a breakdown for credit tiers? I had a client get multiple alerts when she went up a credit tier and only gone from 425 to 551, 559. So let me get out of here. There's two forms of credit tier or credit alerts. There's ones to the consumer, and there's ones to you as a loan officer. So as a consumer, they get notified that they have an upgraded credit score at least once a month, regardless of how much their score has changed. They get once a month just to check into their credit profile. If their credit score moves more than plus or minus 5 points in that week period when they get the update, they're going to get an update saying your credit score is on the move. Just because that's a substantial change, it's at least check to see what's going on. As a lender, you will get notified anytime they move up a credit tier. So if they move from poor to average, you're going to get alerted. In this scenario, maybe they're on that low end of the average. So it might not be time to go to talk about pre-approval yet, but at the very least, reach out. Hey, you're moving in the right direction. Congratulations. Even Jennifer, I know that's still a low score, but 425, 459, that's still a good amount of point jump. It's moving in the right direction. So that's where you can reinforce the trust and keep with the process. Trust the process. I'm going to put this back up here. I'm going to open it up for Q&A. And then if you guys don't have this, this is where you can get a hold of myself and all of the people on the customer.
This is where you can get a hold of myself and all the people on the customer.
Chris, I have a quick question.
I've got a question, Chris, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, Mimo, why don't you go ahead first, and McGee will come to you right afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, so I was checking out the videos that were pre-made, and the one where it doesn't have a voice, right, where you're supposed to record over. Is there a certain software that you could recommend for doing that? I was looking at the stuff that I have, and because the videos looked like they were done on a phone, all my stuff has the widescreen on the computer. And I really couldn't figure out how to just do the voiceover. Is there a certain software you guys recommend?
Yeah. Ethan, will you put in your contact info? Connect with Mimo. He's the master at all of that. He can show you how to green screen, give you some tool recommendations. We use a tool called v.io. It's really good for doing quick videos with AI voiceover. But you can use Canva and stuff. If you're doing recordings, a lot of your native, like the Instagrams and stuff, will have tools directly in there. So you really don't have to spend money to do a lot of this. But Ethan is our master at this. So Ethan, if you put in your contact info.
Yep, I'll add that. And just one comment on that. All you need is a free Canva account to get your voiceover added to those. I'll add my contact info here in I'll look you up either way and shoot you over some instructions on how you can do that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Hey, what's your question?
Hey, what's your question?
I've heard you refer to the agents on the call. I would love to hear from them what they think about this. If they're willing to speak up and share their thoughts.
Have any agents willing to speak?
Agents won't speak.
We got to do it again and invite more agents.
Well, and
I'm
I
in
mean,
on
I
that.
can
We
share.
do it
'Cause-
again and invite more agents.
yeah, I can share because prior to becoming, you know, an LO, I had an LO that reached out to me and offered me the key steps piece of it. Oh, sorry, the echo was messing me up. But yeah, I mean, when I recognized with First Home IQ, that's why I jumped on it. I was like, hey, I'm familiar with that. And I was definitely excited about being able to keep up with people long term. So like we've been saying the whole time, it's another, you know, opportunity just to reach out and stay connected with people. So
Yeah. I had one realtor say to me, another app. And I'm like, all right, maybe it's not for you, you know. And that's just sort of what you're gonna get. I sat down with, like, you know, 5 realtors at lunch, showed them all, made them all QR code, you know, but they did like 1, 2. I don't know. It's not. I'm gonna figure that end out. I promise you. That's definitely my goal, is to sit down with a bunch of realtors and show this to them and let them kind of organically create leads for me. But I think it takes the right realtor to do that. Like, if you're living on the lake and all your people are lake people and they got the 20% down and they got perfect credit, I don't know if this is for you, but I have a lot of realtors that are also teachers. So this may be that perfect situation for them as they go back into school. Like, oh, well, you're a teacher? Really? Here, just download my app. Boom. And then now they're in already, you know. And I don't know. I think it's right for the right person, like I said. You know.
Yeah.
Good job.
One
Bob.
thing,
Yeah, let's get more realtors on.
yeah. Any other realtors that want to speak of? All right. Well, one thing I'd recommend is, because I've seen some folks go wrong with just the messaging here, is it's not meant to replace what realtors are doing today with their search experience and with their tracking. This is capturing folks that they don't have the bandwidth and the time to deal with today. It's partnering with you as a loan officer to get those folks ready to build that future pipeline. Yes, there is search in there, and it's a protected search. People are going to use multiple search platforms. That's just the reality that we face today. It's getting people in. And so I always like to ask the question. I've met with many realtors one-on-one and with partnered with some of the loan officers here on the call. And same thing I asked before, what are you doing for people that are not ready to transact today? And if the answer is nothing, I put them on drip campaigns, or I put a calendar to follow up. Here's a more engaging, better way to do that and giving something of value.
But you got to use it.
Yeah.
You got to
It
use
doesn't
it.
cost the agent anything. It does not, doesn't cost them
No.
anything. So
You got to use it. It's one of them apps that you just got to use.
also for this, for loan officers, for realtors that are on the call, let's say you start using the app and it's not for you. You just decide to use it. We don't take those contacts and sell them to somebody else. The way we've contracted with each one of our loan officers is those are yours. They're not, okay, you went by, so we're just going to take those and sell them to the next highest bidder. We do not do that in our business. We have that contractually written in. I know we're a little over. Any other questions?
Appreciate you, man. Well, nice meeting y'all. All right. I got to bounce though, but thank you.
Yeah.
See you
I
guys next
appreciate
time.
everyone's time. We'll send out the
Thanks,
recording
Chris.
and we'll plan to do these on a monthly basis. And if any of you want to do some more intimate ones with just myself or someone from the customer success team and your realtor group, we're happy to do that with you.
all right, thank you.
All right. Thanks all. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.